Okay, hey guys. I am going to tell y'all, let me turn it a little bit so you don't get glare. Let's see, hopefully that's better. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about picking up from where I stopped last time, moving forward. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. It gets jumbled up here, like, things are happening, like, overlapping each other. So, I'm going to try to describe it the best way I can. So, I will not make these videos longer than 10 minutes because I think that's just rambling. But I'm hoping we get up to the year 2015 where my amputation starts. So, where we picked off up last, the abscesses, Dr. Dunn, all that, where I almost died on the table. We already had that in 2011. If you haven't watched those videos yet, you can see when I was diagnosed with diabetes and then what happened after that. So we're up to about 2012, 2013. It was more around 2013. I was working at Cigna, and me and my friend Casey, she won like some kind of fitness boot camp where she could take a friend, and I guess I was her friend then. I did have friends. Just kidding. But we went to the fitness boot camp together. And I was way out of shape, I'll admit it. But I was ready to lose weight, wanting to do it. And they were doing drills. I was already struggling as it was. But you put this like rubber band thing around your stomach. And then there's a medicine ball. You're supposed to run, grab the medicine ball, but you're supposed to control it coming back, like where you don't fly backwards. That did not happen with me. I flew backwards and fell on my foot. For the next 2 or 3 weeks, my foot stayed swollen. Like, it was really big. I went to my endocrinologist twice. I got the same answer. Your blood sugars are out of whack. It's water weight. You need to be pedaling under your desk on bicycle pedals. You need to be walking around the Cigna while you're on break. So I did that. It still hurt. Still swollen. It was a Friday, and I remember looking at it, I was like, this does not look good. So I went to Casey's cubicle. I was like, look at this. She's like, Cassie, I think it's about time you go to the ER hospital. So I made an appointment. No, I did go to the ER. They sent me home. They were like, nothing's wrong. Go home. So we went home. I decided, I was like, Mom, something's wrong. I know there is. We need to go see Dr. Dunn. Dr. Dunn was the one that did all the abscesses for me. He's a surgeon. So he took me in. He looked at me. He said, we're going to take you into the hospital, do some tests, figure out what's wrong with it, because something's wrong. So went back to the ER. They were going to send me home. We called Dr. Dunn's office, and they're like, no, admit her in the hospital. So they admitted me into the hospital, and then Dr. Dunn came up, did x-rays. He came in one day, was very serious. When he's serious, you know something's up. And he's like, do not put any pressure on that foot. Your foot is basically like a fractured foot. You have what's called Charcot foot. It's C-H-A-R-O-T, Charcot foot. And I was like, what? What is that? He's like, basically, all your bones are, like, fractured. It's just not good. Stay off of it. You're going to need several surgeries to fix this. And I was like, But he goes, this is not my forte. I'm going to bring in another doctor. So this is when Dr. Brown came in the picture. He was a good doctor. I'm going to say he was a good doctor. He was a good doctor. You'll understand why I'm kind of hesitant on it. But he lengthened my Achilles tendon where all the bones just kind of fell in place. So, he said we would have to do surgery later on, but right now, he said I was lucky I did not lose my foot. So, I was thankful. I stayed off the foot. We got a knee walker. If you don't know what those are, there's like a little scooter where you put your knee up on the cushion. Yeah, I was flying on that thing, and you'll understand what that did too. So, I was going to the wound center twice a week for him to look at it. It took us 1.5 years to get that thing healed, where the surgical. Well, in between all that, a bone in my pinky toe got infected. So they just went back through the same surgical wound, pulled the bone out, And I don't have a bone there. I can't tell. I still have that foot. I don't know anything about it. So, whatever. Well, during all this process, my other foot, the left foot, which is the leg that got amputated, the left foot, I had it at the time. It had a dime size, little small, like the skin, where you get dry skin, just kind of pulled back. He started debriding that. I don't necessarily agree that he should have debrided that, but he did. And at the time, they put these big wraps on your legs, and I couldn't wear a shoe with it. So I was basically walking around barefoot outside, and dirt was getting in it, pet hair, just things that, you know, I was keeping 2 little kids at the time, which I love them. I miss them. But, you know, you got 30 things going around, germs. So that's when the horror story started, was when that was debrided. But also in all of the middle of that, that's what I'm saying, all this overlaps each other, which kind of leads to the next. But I was on that knee walker. I was coming out of the wound center. There was a crack in the sidewalk, and I was flying down it. And all of a sudden, I hit it. The knee walker stopped. I flipped over, and then my knee started swelling up. But I didn't focus on my knee at the time because I was more focused about the wounds on the bottom of my feet were my main focus. Amputation had never hit my brain. I didn't have any clue. We finally part ways with Dr. Brown. He kicked my mom out of the room one day, and he seriously talked to me. He was like, "Are you on drugs?" I was like, "I have not tried any kind of drugs ever, and I really haven't. I still haven't." And I was like, "I don't know." And I was being prescribed what's called Triamidol. It's not a narcotic. I still don't think it's a narcotic. It's just Triamidol. It's like a Tylenol is what nurses tell me. And it was being prescribed from my doctor. It was not anything I was taking over the counter or illegally. And I was like, "No, I'm not." And that's when me and my mom decided we need to split ways. I think he decided he needed to split ways with me. So that's when I went to Memorial and saw Dr. Gwen in Chattanooga. I went to him, and they've been the best for me. I just get along with them better. I mean, Dr. Brown was a great doctor, don't get me wrong. But Dr. Gwen put me in what's called a Hyperbaric Chamber immediately, which is like a big tunnel. It's glass. It's like an MRI, but you can see out. I wasn't claustrophobic in this. MRIs, I'm claustrophobic. And then when you're in there, they're like lowering you down like you're going underwater, but you're not moving. It's just the pressure inside. And the oxygen is supposed to heal your foot. So that was, oh, I forgot something. Before I left Dr. Brown, and this was about 2014, very early 2014, no, late 2014, early 2015. They decided that infection got in my left foot, the one that had the dime-sized little place that he started to bring in. Infection did get in it. So they amputated the big toe. So they thought they got it all and things were great. But then, like I said later on, we decided we needed to split ways. And so I went to Memorial. And like I said, I was in the hyperbaric for maybe 2 weeks. My Aunt Roberta took me. She's seen everything I have because you have to strip down and get into a gown, and you got to make sure you don't have anything on because static or anything is not good. I think it can catch it on fire. So, did that for 2 weeks. I remember Dr. Gwen would knock on my window and wave at me and stuff. And then eventually one day he said, "Cassie, I don't know if we can keep your foot. It's not healing. It's not." So at that time, I didn't have infection. There was no issues. And then that leads up to so it had to have been, when I went in the hyperbaric, was probably 2015 spring, because it was a week before June 16th, 2015. I'm trying to give y'all dates. I know it can be confusing, but a week before that, I was very, very sick. I went into the ER. They, I think, even admitted me and put me on some antibiotics through IV. It was in my foot. I think they thought they got it or something. It's a little hazy back then, but I do remember this leads to the amputation. June 16th, 2015, I went back into the ER. I was throwing up. I was chilling. I had a fever. I had stomach problems. It was bad. My blood sugar was way out the roof. I couldn't get it down. Went in. This is the first time I met Dr. Highholt. And Dr. Highholt has not the greatest bedside manner. I love him now, so we got past everything. But the first thing he said when he saw me was like, "You're going to have to lose that leg. We're going to have to take it off." And of course, I'm boo-hooing, and he argued with my mom about the vancomycin, getting red man syndrome, even though we were told that. He even went and asked the infectious disease, and they're like, "Yeah, you can get red man syndrome from vancomycin," which is a very strong antibiotic that a lot of people go on. But I can't take that anymore because I break out into hives and swell, and just not good. But I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to pick it up from there next time. And then we get into the amputation, what happened. Just like this video, a lot of things overlap. And I think I may have confused y'all on some things. I hope not. If I did, ask me. I'm an open book. I don't mind. But this is the third video, kind of what's leading up to what causes the amputation. Infection. You know, my knee is swollen now, but I'm still not focused on my knee. Because I'm worried about the foot. My vision, I still have it at the time. So, here we go. Oh, I should have told y'all about Cigna. But I will tell y'all about Cigna next time, because the video is getting a little, well, let me go ahead. I got laid off from Cigna when I went down with my foot with a Charcot foot. I couldn't drive, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do nothing. I told them I would work from home. So they were like, "Yeah, cool." My manager's all for it. I still love her. But she got switched to a different department. And I had a new manager. And he was like, "Yeah, we'll get you a computer at home. You can do this at home. No big deal." Because we do everything from, you know, I did claims processing. I didn't have to talk on the phone. We did our training through chat and Zoom and all that. So, 10 days before I was supposed to get my computer at home, it was in December, because I remember it was near Christmas, the lady calls and says, "I'm sorry, but your position's terminated. That position's no longer a position." I said, "Claims processing?" And she said, "Yeah, we'll give you all your paper." I just started crying. I hung up the phone. My mom called him back, and she gave him a piece of her mind. She was like, he put it this simply: I was on short-term disability. They don't like that. They were laying off a lot of people at the time, and you sign a paper at the beginning before you're hired saying you will not sue them or do any of that. I did go talk to a lawyer. The lawyer was ready to sue them. But because of the way they did it, they crossed their T's, dotted their I's, I couldn't. They did make it a little bit okay. They did give me insurance until I got disability. Luckily, my disability came in like the month that they said they were going to end my insurance. So that was okay, but I still have a little sour taste in my mouth about Cigna, but that's the reason why. But we'll pick up from the amputation. Like I said, if you're confused, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.